Hi, I'm Victoria. 2 weeks after a car accident left me hospitalized, all I could think about was reuniting with my children. But when I finally came home, they wouldn't even look at me. That's when I learned my mother-in-law, Linda, had told them I'd chosen to go on vacation instead of being with them. She'd even shown them doctored photos of me partying while they cried themselves to sleep. The day of the accident had started like any other. I packed Emma's favorite unicorn lunchbox and helped Tyler tie his new dinosaur shoes, the ones that lit up when he walked. "Mommy, can we have pizza for dinner?" Emma asked, her green eyes wide with hope. "We'll see, sweetie," I laughed, smoothing her messy curls. I never made it to pick up that pizza. The last thing I remembered was the screech of tires and the sickening lurch of the world spinning sideways. Then darkness. I woke up in a hospital bed to the steady beeping of monitors and a body that felt shattered. Multiple fractures, internal bleeding. "Lucky to be alive," I overheard the doctor say. My first thought was of my children. "Where are my babies?" I croaked, my throat raw from the breathing tube. "They're with their grandmother," the nurse assured me. Linda. Even through the haze of painkillers, her name sent a chill through me. She'd never hidden her disdain for me, often telling Mark he could have done better than a schoolteacher from common stock. Still, I convinced myself she'd set that aside for the kids. I was wrong. So terribly wrong. During those 2 weeks in the hospital, I tried desperately to reach Emma and Tyler, but every call was deflected with excuses. "They're napping," "they're busy," or "it's not a good time." Mark visited when he could, but his visits were rushed, distracted. "The kids miss you," he'd say, but there was a strange edge to his voice. "Mom's been amazing with them. You don't need to worry." But I did worry. A mother knows when something's wrong. The truth began to unravel in snippets. In one phone call, Linda's syrupy tone sent my heart racing. "Oh, Victoria, the children are so brave without you. Emma cried herself to sleep last night, but I told her that's what big girls do when mommy chooses to be away." "Chooses?" I said, my chest tightening. "Linda, I'm in a hospital. I didn't choose this." "Of course, dear," she replied smoothly. "That's just what we tell them." When Mark finally brought me home, I expected relief, hugs, kisses, the warmth of my children in my arms. Instead, Emma clung to Linda, her little face buried in her grandmother's side. Tyler wouldn't meet my eyes. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" I asked, kneeling to Emma's level. She flinched as if I'd struck her. "Don't touch me," she whispered. "You don't love us. You left us." The room blurred. "What?" "Emma, no." Linda stepped in, her expression a mask of pity. "Now, Emma, remember what we talked about. Mommy needed her vacation. See, she even got a nice tan." She held up her phone, showing an image of me laughing on a beach, drink in hand. "That's not." My voice cracked. I was in the hospital. But Emma was already running upstairs, Tyler close behind. I turned to Linda, my hands trembling. "What have you done?" Her smile was cold, triumphant. "I've helped the children see the truth about their mother's priorities. They're very perceptive, you know." Mark shifted uncomfortably beside her. "Mom just didn't want them scared about your accident," he said, avoiding my gaze. She was trying to help. It was then I saw Linda's phone screen. Open to a folder labeled Victoria's Vacation, it contained dozens of photos. My face clumsily photoshopped onto women at parties, on beaches, even passed out. One video showed me unconscious in the hospital, edited to look like I'd been drinking. This wasn't just manipulation. It was a deliberate campaign to turn my own children against me, and I was only beginning to grasp the depths of her cruelty. The next few days were a waking nightmare. I get up early to make Emma's favorite heart-shaped pancakes, only to find Linda already feeding the kids. "They prefer my cooking," she'd say with a thin smile. "Children need consistency, Victoria. They can't handle unexpected absences." But it was the conversations I overheard that shattered me. "Grandma," Emma's voice drifted from the playroom. "Why did Mommy send pictures of her party when we were crying?" "Oh, sweetheart," Linda replied, her tone dripping honey. "Some mothers need breaks from being mothers. But don't worry, I'll never leave you." I gripped the doorframe, my knuckles white. Through the crack, I saw Linda showing Emma something on her phone. More doctored photos. That night, I tried to tuck Tyler in, desperate for a moment of connection. He flinched as I leaned to kiss his forehead. Grandma says you were dancing with strange men instead of coming home to us, he whispered. She showed us the videos. Tyler, baby, those aren't real. I was in the hospital. I was hurt. Grandma says that's what bad mommies say when they get caught. My heart shattered. I stumbled out of his room, my scars aching less than the fresh wounds in my soul. In the hallway, I ran into Mark. You need to see what your mother's showing our kids, I pleaded. He sighed, rubbing his temples. Mom's just trying to help. The kids were hysterical when you disappeared. She kept them calm by making them hate me. They don't hate you. They're just adjusting. That was the moment I realized Linda wasn't just meddling. She was waging war, and it was time to fight back. The next morning, I called Sarah, my best friend and a digital forensics expert. These edits are sloppy, Sarah said, scanning the images on her laptop. Lighting's mismatched, edges are poorly masked. I can prove they're fake. Can you help me document everything? Already on it. And Victoria, reach out to Dr. Chen, your emergency surgeon. He can confirm where you were during those 2 weeks. Over the next few days, I built my case. Hospital records, timestamps, security footage showing my unconscious arrival. Every piece of evidence chipped away at Linda's lies. But Linda wasn't done. At dinner, she pulled out a birthday card. Oh, look what I found. Victoria sent this to her friend Janet during her hospital stay. Strange how she had time to shop for cards, but not see her children. I snatched the card. The handwriting mimicked mine but wasn't quite right. She'd been practicing my signature. Enough, I said, standing. Linda, I want you out of my house. Now. Her laugh was low and dangerous. Mark, do you hear how she talks to your mother? After all I've done for this family. Mark hesitated, torn between us. Mom, maybe you should give us some space. Space? Her voice rose, icy and sharp. Fine. I'll go pack the children's bags. They clearly need a break from this toxic environment. You're not taking my children anywhere. I said, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. Watch me, she smiled, pulling out her phone. I have weeks of documentation. Your abandonment, evidence of your partying, witnesses to the children's distress. One call to CPS. Are you threatening me? I'm protecting my grandchildren from an unreliable mother. Mark understands. Don't you, sweetheart? Mark froze, years of manipulation visibly warring with his instincts. A small voice interrupted from the stairs. Daddy? Emma stood there in her unicorn pajamas, clutching her tablet. I was trying to show Tyler old videos of Mommy, but look what I found. She turned the screen toward us. It showed Linda coaching Emma to say I'd abandoned them, promising treats if she refused to hug me. Linda's face drained of color. There's more, Emma whispered. Grandma said I had to take lots of pictures and videos for her special project. Linda wasn't bluffing about escalating the situation. The next morning, my phone buzzed relentlessly with hostile messages from relatives. How dare you ban Linda from seeing her grandchildren? After everything she's done for your family, you're tearing this family apart. By afternoon, the escalation turned tangible. A knock at the door revealed a CPS worker with a grave expression. Mrs. Anderson, we've received reports about your recent behavior. My heart stopped. Linda had gone that far. But I was ready. I invited the social worker in and presented everything. Medical records, hospital security footage, Sarah's forensic analysis of the doctored photos, and Emma's inadvertently captured recordings of Linda's manipulation. As the worker reviewed the evidence, her concern shifted to anger. This is a clear case of parental alienation. We take false reports very seriously. That evening, Mark finally acted. I scheduled an emergency family therapy session, he said, and hired a lawyer. Mom's behavior. It's gone too far. Therapy was grueling but necessary. Dr. Martinez, our counselor, specialized in family trauma and alienation. She worked closely with the kids, helping them process Linda's lies. Mommy, Emma asked during one session, her voice small, did you really never want to leave us? I held her close, my throat tight. Never, baby. I fought so hard to come back to you. Grandma said you didn't love us anymore, Tyler whispered. Dr. Martinez spoke firmly. Your mother loves you more than anything. What your grandmother did was wrong. She lied to hurt your family. Rebuilding was slow. The kids had nightmares, finally confronting their fear of losing me. I spent countless nights holding them, reassuring them, earning back their trust moment by moment. Legally, we took action. Our lawyer filed for a restraining order, armed with overwhelming evidence. The doctored photos, the recorded coaching sessions, and the false CPS report. Linda tried one last desperate move, showing up at the kids' school, insisting she had rights as their grandmother. But the school, already alerted, called security. She left in a storm of shouted accusations about betrayal and ungrateful children. The judge granted the restraining order immediately, barring Linda from contacting us or coming near our home or the children's school. Mark struggled but ultimately supported the decision. "I'm sorry," he said one night, holding me close. "I should have protected you and the kids. I've spent years excusing her behavior." Healing took time. We moved across town, changed schools, and started fresh. Weekly therapy sessions became a cornerstone of our recovery, helping us set stronger boundaries and rebuild trust. 6 months later, Emma came to me with her tablet. "Look, Mommy," she said proudly, showing me a video montage she'd made. It was filled with real memories, family game nights, Tyler's soccer goal, helping with homework, ordinary moments of love and connection. "This is our real story," she declared. "No fake pictures needed." Linda still tries to reach us through flying monkeys and fake social media accounts, but we're stronger now. The kids have learned that love doesn't come with manipulation, and it's okay to set boundaries, even with family. At dinner one evening, Tyler asked, "Mom, are you happy you stayed with us instead of going on that fake vacation?" I hugged him tight, breathing in his familiar scent. "Sweetheart, there was never a choice. You and Emma are my whole world. No vacation could ever compete with that." Our road to healing isn't perfect. We still face tough conversations and lingering memories, but we face them together now as a family. The real victory isn't just exposing Linda's lies. It's building something stronger from the wreckage. Our family isn't flawless, but it's ours, built on truth, trust, and love. If you faced a Linda in your life, remember, you're not alone. Stand firm, gather your evidence, and never stop fighting for your children. The truth has a way of shining through, especially when it's rooted in love.